from memoirs and piece that I wrote in 2019. I practiced this at home. I'm going to take up about 10 minutes. I Googled the average length of songs and everything. I researched this. Okay, so this is called Transplanted. It is the winter of 2009. I wait on Christina's back porch, a temporary refuge, now that I've left my husband. I am homeless and nearly friendless. This space with its long row of windows only permits the twin bed, a fit like ribs around lungs. There is an ancient, hulking, out-of-tune piano at the foot of my bed, and a hand-me-down dresser wedged in the space between the wall and the headboard. I am the central figure in a Russian nesting doll, inside layers of pain and shame, inside jeans and a sweatshirt and socks, inside a borrowed comforter and cat companions. Under the final layer of skin and a few tattoos is me, the quivering hollow core. An electric radiator exhales feebly. My breath escapes this sarcophagus in frosty plumes, blurring the only 3 cards on the wall. Season's greetings from my employer, Stop and Shop. Happy holidays from my attorney. And Merry Christmas from Christina. Reality smacks me as the fog of sleep clears. Wrapped in a blanket, I trudge to the deck where I smoke Pall Malls and watch squirrels spiral up trees. I am a shaking, crying tangle of nerves. The Pall Malls and squirrels help, as does the wine I pour from the spigot on the box of red, sometimes before lunch. Every other day, when they are not at their dad's, my 7 and 8-year-old girls, Chloe and Cassidy, are here with me. I pull myself together for them. Christina has given them the smaller bedroom, reassembling her kids' old bunk beds and letting us paint the walls. A window separates my porch bed from their bunks. At night, we open it and read Harry Potter books out loud. Soon, we'll be in our own apartment. Later, I'll kick the cigarettes. For now, I am here incubating until I can stand on my wobbly, new life legs. For years, I'll live like a nomad without roots. A 1-year lease here, a 2-year lease there, but part of me will always live at Christina's. If I pass some stuff. There's a part about how we met 4 years earlier than that. 4 years after our introduction, when my marriage implodes, I sit in my Saturn Astra, facing the ball field in a park not far from my marital home. Already, even though my things are still there, crammed into boxes by the basement couch where I've been hunkering in lieu of a better plan, sleeping fitfully and worrying about confrontations, I no longer think of that house as home. I need a destination. Do you think, I say into the cell phone, that the girls and I could stay with you just for a yes? She cuts me off before I can say my spiel about how it won't be for long. We even clean out Kurt's old room for the girls. You can use the porch. I need to clean that out anyway, she says. And I weep with gratitude. In the days I live at Christina's, I am a Humpty Dumpty broken mess, crying in between grocery store work shifts and the 2 classes I've enrolled in at the nearby community college. My Baptist background isn't making these life changes any easier. The answers there were black and white. A vow is a vow. When I talk about God being mad or the crushing guilt and judgment I feel, Christina waves her hand and mutters about prescriptive morality, or rolls her eyes and says, I don't think Jesus is like that. She reminds me I am no Hester Prynne, and we aren't Puritans. Christina grew up Catholic, but has come to her own conclusions, summing up her philosophy by saying, I believe everyone is pretty much doing the best they can. Her biggest concern rests with whether I am okay, rather than worrying about how sinful I am. With her support, I keep getting up and facing life. Over the next couple of years, many things will change. My divorce will be finalized. I'll have my own little basement apartment up the road where I will lay in bed at night listening to my neighbors screeching carrots upstairs. I will have worked out a deal with my maxed out visa that was my only means of hiring a lawyer, and will be paying my way out of debt. I'll be thinking about becoming a nurse's aide. Christina and I will graduate together, both of us getting associate's degrees, and I'll have found some new friends. 10 years later, I'll have my bachelor's degree in my own little house, but now I am a seedling, springing from a sidewalk crack, digging deep and stretching toward the light. The road leading to Christina's house is a roller coaster, a narrow, frayed ribbon of blacktop that twists and dips, hugging the rusted guardrail, beyond which the land drops away sharply, yielding to the rocky waters of the cove. My car knows the way. There is room to park by the crumbling stone wall edging her tiny flower-filled yard. Gardens, unruly plantings where something is always happening, bleeding hearts that drip rosy blooms in early spring, perennial bulbs that send up daffodils, tulips, and lilies, window boxes burst with color, azaleas nestle up against the siding, starry yellow forsythia stretch their gangly arms. At the corner of the house, a rose of Sharon transplanted from her mother's yard. Against the neighbor's chain-link fence, a line of prickly raspberry bushes I steal handfuls from in late summer. A stone cat perched on the step by the front door dangles beads at Mardi Gras and a holly wreath in December. That door is perpetually unlocked. We are welcome anytime. Whenever I open the door, a cat darts in or out. And every time I cross the threshold, memories swirl. How every year on my birthday we gather for the Sci-Fi Channel's marathon of the Twilight Zone, snacking and playing a game of Twilight Zone Bingo we invented ourselves. How on Thanksgiving we listen to Alice's Restaurant and eat stuffing served from a pumpkin shell. How I've become part of this motley crew, Christina's children who come to holidays toting guitars and who break into spontaneous performances. Her ex-husband with the long silver ponytail and a fondness for crossword puzzles. Ray, the retired submarine captain, who always brings a bottle of red. An eclectic mix of friends and family with Christina at the hub, like here. I sometimes gaze from where I sit, legs tucked under me in a wicker chair, and consider the crowd. We are our own island of misfit toys, a mix of artists, writers, and musicians, deadheads and liberals and rednecks, intellectual and arthritic, divorced, widowed, medicated, addicted, renting, working, getting by. Here, I've never felt judged or self-conscious. Often it's just Christina and I, burning candles and playing music. Neil Young, Leonard Cohen, the Rolling Stones. Sitting on the deck or at the kitchen table, we tell our secrets and drink our wine. Years later, my daughter Cassidy, unexpectedly pregnant, not quite done with her nuclear engineering degree, stayed with Christina. Once again, Christina cleaned out a bedroom. Once again, she magically made everything fit, storing things in the basement, letting Cassidy strip off old wallpaper. In that safe place, Cassidy's belly swelled as she assembled a crib and knit hats. When the time came, baby Landon's first ride home was down that snaking road to a place where he would come to know cats and Jerry Garcia and Harold and his purple crayon. I go over and watch little Landon on Mondays. Normally he is good-natured, his easy smiles turning his dimples into deep, adorable pits, laughter bubbling up in response to my antics. Last Monday, however, Christina comes to find me pacing her kitchen with an inconsolable baby. Christina drops her purse and shrugs off her coat, steps over a cat to get to us. "Wait," she says excitedly. "He likes the kinks. Alexa, play pictures in the sand." Christina dances around us, singing the lyrics and catching Landon's attention. If I didn't have a dime, would you still be loving me? Well, I spend my whole life through drawing pictures just for you, but I could never draw my love. It's so very hard to do. Pictures in the sand, writing messages to you. I dance around with Landon in my arms. My grandson loves the Kinks? Of course he does. Look where he's sprouting. His tears stop, and by the time Cassidy walks into our party, laden with her heavy college backpack, he is beaming.